Thomas the Tank Engine and Friends, Wooden Railway Adventures, Episode 96, Rails on Fire. Special thanks to Simon Percy 6 for suggesting this episode's title. It was a hot summer day on the island of Sodor, and Boko had just departed from the fire station. He was taking some tankers full of fuel, oil, and petroleum to the oil depot. Unfortunately, the workmen there hadn't secured some of the barrels on one of the trains. Boko, nor his driver nor fireman, didn't know this. As Boko rounded the bend, the barrels dangerously tipped off to the side. But unfortunately, Boko didn't know. He kept going. As Boko zoomed up the hill, there was trouble. As Boko was going down the hill, one barrel fell out and dropped onto the track below. The other one quickly followed it. Boko, however, didn't notice. The barrels splashed onto the track below, and they rolled off down the line. Nobody knew this, but the oil and petroleum that had gotten onto the track was now very sticky. Derek, meanwhile, had been napping, and he didn't see this. When he awoke, however, he saw Thomas coming down the line. "Ah, yes," he said. "Little Thomas, at least he has a job." Derek was feeling very sad. He felt like he wasn't needed on Sodor anymore. He wanted to become special, but he didn't know how. Thomas was racing down the line with Andy and Clarabelle. But however, when Thomas went over the track, suddenly sparks lit up beneath him. "Whoa," said Derek, "that's weird." Thomas stopped. "Is everything all right, Derek?" he asked. "Oh, yes, never mind me," he said. "Continue along your way." "All right, then," said Thomas. As Clarabelle went over the track, sparks lit up from under her wheels, too. "That's strange," said Derek. I've never noticed that before." Toby soon arrived later, too, and the same thing happened to him. "Strange," said Derek. I've never noticed that before. Hey, look, here comes James. I'll see if it's the same thing for him, too." As James's coaches went backwards over it, sparks came up too, and as James went forward, sparks came up. "Wow," said Derek. I'll have to go deeper into this." And just to be sure, he waited until Gordon had arrived. The same thing happened with Gordon as did James. "Move out of the way," said Derek. Gordon, "I need to get through." "Sorry," said Derek. "My bad." Derek had never noticed this before. He said, "Maybe something is spilled onto the tracks." He went over, but the tracks felt fine. That's because the oil and petroleum hadn't dried yet. Derek was about to leave and tell Sir Topham Hatt when a new diesel named Dennis arrived. "What are you looking at, Derek?" he asked. "Oh, when Thomas, Toby, James, and Gordon came by, sparks lit up from under their wheels. It's very confusing. I don't know how." "Let me try," said Dennis. But nothing happened. Dennis went back and forth many, many times, but still nothing happened. "Are you sure?" said Dennis. Nothing happened with me." "I'm not sure," said Derek. "Ugh. Man, never mind. It's probably just my imagination." "Yeah," said Dennis. "We do sometimes have good imaginations." Derek laughed. "We'll see you, Dennis. Goodbye," and Dennis rushed away. That night, Derek went to his shed and found Frank waiting for him. "Hello, Frank," he said. I saw something very strange today." "What was it?" asked Frank. "Oh, well, I was sitting outside Knapford Station, and when the engines came by, sparks lit up from under the wheels." "Wow," said Frank. "That seems cool." "Yeah, but when I tried it with Dennis, nothing happened." "Ah," said Frank. I'm not sure what to say about that." "You don't?" "Yeah, I've never heard anything like it before. I'm sorry." "Oh, that's all right. I'll go back there tomorrow and see if stuff still happens." "That's a good idea." "Thanks, Frank, for all your help. I wish—" But Frank was already asleep. Never mind," said Derek. "I'll ask him in the morning." However, Derek didn't get the chance. When the first rays of sun broke over Gordon's Hill, Derek headed out. He wanted to see if the same thing would happen. When he arrived, he waited for the first train to come. But it took a long time. He said, "It's just probably because it's really early." Oh, look. Here comes Diesel. Maybe I can see now. Hey, Diesel, can you do a test for me? What is it? Said Diesel crossly. Oh, just go over the tracks like normal. That's what I was gonna do, said Diesel. Grrr. But Diesel stopped right after he got on the bridge. What's the matter? Keep on coming forward. I can't, said Diesel. I'm stuck. Stuck in what? It feels like there's gum under my wheels or something. Derek was shocked. He said, what's happened? Derek's driver inspected it. He says it smells like oil under here. Oil must have spilled onto the tracks yesterday. That's probably what caused the sparks, said Derek. You're absolutely right, said his driver. Now we have to get Diesel out before a train comes. Don't worry, said Derek. I got him. Wow, said Diesel. Thanks, Derek. You're welcome, said Derek. That could have been really nasty if a train was coming. Just then they heard a whistle. I wonder who that is. They soon found out. Arthur was coming down the line. As he went over the tracks, however, suddenly large sparks lit up from under his wheels. Whoa, said Derek, that's not supposed to happen. And indeed it wasn't. Suddenly, the sparks landed on the track and a huge fire was ablaze. The Diesels jumped back. Wow, said Derek, it's a fire. Help, help. Just then, Arthur stopped. Oh, he said, I forgot something back at the quarry. I need to go get it. Instead of turning around, he went right through the fire. Arthur, no! Cried Derek. Ah! And Arthur went right through the fire. I've got to go save him, cried Derek. Arthur was now a blazing fireball as he raced down the track up the hill. Stop! Cried Derek. Stop! It's all right, Arthur. It's all right. Ha, ha, ha. Make it go out. Make it go out. Don't worry. And Derek blew viciously on Arthur. Soon the fire was out. It was only his cab who had caught fire, and his driver wasn't hurt. Phew, said Derek. That could have been very bad. Just all of a sudden, though, Derek was still on the hill, and he slipped back. Whoa! Derek zoomed down the bend, where the fire was still going. Help, help, help! And he went right through the fire, and he stopped right in it. Ouch, my back, he called. His back was right on fire, and he was soon melting. Arthur, help me! Arthur raced around and came back to get Derek. Phew, said Arthur, that was close. But Derek's back was badly ruined. Soon, Sir Topham had arrived. He inspected Derek's back. Derek, unfortunately, it does not look good. What do you mean, sir? Asked Derek. Your entire back end is melted from the heat. I'm sorry, you'll have to go to the works. Oh dear, said Derek. But sir, aren't the Diesel's body shape different than the steam engines? Yes, see, look at Diesel's back here. He has that little thing back there. That supports the roll cage of an engine. Unfortunately, Derek, you don't have one. So when you go to the works, I'm going to get you one. Oh, thank you, sir, said Derek. That is very nice of you. And Arthur hauled Derek off to the works. A few days later, Derek returned along with Arthur. Arthur had gotten a new cab as well. His had been badly burned during the fire. And Derek had also gotten a new back end. Diesel roared up. Hi, Derek, he said. How's your new back end? It looks great. To me, said Diesel, it looks the same. Oh, that's because you haven't seen anything yet. Driver, open it. Derek's driver did. Wow, said Diesel. I'm impressed. Yeah, it has its own sprinkler system. Just in case it catch fire again, it will put the fire out immediately. And I can store extra oil back there. Impressive, said Diesel. I am very surprised. Thanks, said Derek. It looks like you've also found your special place on the railway. You're a diesel with a sprinkler system. Yeah, said Derek. I guess I'm pretty special after all.